I train 6 days a week, and most days I don't want to. People ask me this all the time. Oh, how do you stay so consistent with training? How do you train 6 days a week? Where do you get the motivation? And I think they're expecting some inspirational answer, like I wake up every day pumped to train, like I'm just naturally disciplined, like I have this obsession, or like I love every session when I'm there, like. But that's not it at all. Most days I don't want to train. Most days I'd rather stay in bed or sit on the couch or do literally anything else. But I train anyway, not because I'm motivated, but because I decided a long time ago that this is who I am. And I think that's what most people get wrong about training. They think it's about motivation. They think it's about feeling like it. They think it's about loving the gym. And maybe some people do. Maybe some people wake up excited to train every day. But I don't. I wake up and think, man, I'm tired. I wake up and think, I trained yesterday. I could take today off. I wake up and think, I don't feel like it. And then I go anyway. Because here is what I learned. Motivation is bullshit. Motivation comes and goes. Some days you have it, some days you don't. And if you only train when you're motivated, well, you're not really training that much, are you? Maybe twice a week, maybe 3 times if you're lucky. But 6 days a week, every week, that doesn't happen from motivation. That happens from identity. And I think this is, where most guys mess up. They try to rely on, motivation to get them to the gym. They watch some David Goggins YouTube, Jocko Willink, Andrew Huberman, all that stuff. They get fired up, train hard for a week, and then the motivation runs out. They stop, and then they wonder why they can't stay consistent. Well, it's because you're relying on the wrong thing. You're relying on how you feel, and feelings change every day. I stopped relying on motivation years ago. Now I just train. Not because I feel like it, because that's just what I do. I'm an athlete, and athletes train. That's it. There's no debate, there's no, do I feel like it today? I just go. And, I know that sounds simple, maybe too simple, but it's the truth. Most days I walk into the gym and I'm not excited. I'm not pumped, I'm not motivated. I'm just there. Because I said I would be. Because this is who I am now. And here's what's interesting. Once I'm there, once I start moving, well, it gets easier. Not easy, but easier. Yeah, the first set sucks. It always does. The second set sucks a little bit less. By the third set, I'm in it. And by the end of the session, I'm glad I went. But if I waited to feel like that before I started, I'd never start. I think about this a lot. How many guys are just waiting to feel motivated before they train? How many guys are sitting at home right now thinking, I'll go tomorrow when I feel better. And then, tomorrow comes and they still don't feel like it. So they wait another day and another day and another day. And, a week goes by, a month goes by, and they haven't trained at all. Because they were waiting for motivation that just never came. And I get it. I used to be like that too. I used to think I needed to be pumped to train. I used to think I needed to feel ready. And I'd skip sessions all the time because I just wasn't feeling it. And then I'd look in the mirror and wonder why nothing was changing. It's because nothing changes when you only show up when you feel like it. Nothing changes when you've got that mindset. You see, change happens when you show up, especially when you don't feel like it. I'm 33 now. I've rebuilt my body quite a few times, 3, 4 times now. And every single time, the secret was the same. Just show up. When you're motivated, not when you feel ready, not even when you're excited. Just show up. 6 days a week, every week. Even when you're tired, even when you don't want to, even when it sucks. Just show up. Because here's what happens when you do just that. You stop being the guy who trains when he feels like it, and you become the guy who trains, period. No conditions, no excuses, no nothings. You just train. And that shift, that's everything. Because once you become that guy, training isn't something you have to convince yourself to do. It's just what you do. Like brushing your teeth, like eating breakfast. You don't debate it. You don't negotiate with yourself. You just do it. And look, I'm not saying every session is great. Some sessions are shit. That was a bit of a tongue twister there. Some sessions are shit. Some sessions are shit. Some days I'm tired and the weight feels heavy and I cut the session short. Some days I'm not hitting the numbers that I want. Some days I just go through the motions. But I still went. And that's what matters. Because showing up on the bad days, that is what builds your identity. And anyone can show up on the good days when they're motivated. But showing up on the bad days when you're tired and you just don't want to, that is what separates the guys who stay consistent from the guys who don't. I was 110 kilograms about almost 2 years ago now. 2, 3 years, I'd say. Out of shape, weak, didn't respect the man in the mirror. And the only reason I'm 80 kilograms now, well, hovering around early 80s, the only reason I'm in the best shape of my life right now is because I showed up 6 days a week, every week, even when I didn't want to. Especially when I didn't want to. And, I think about the guys who are still waiting to feel motivated, waiting to feel ready, waiting for Monday, waiting for next week, waiting for next month. And I just think, man, just go. Just show up today. You don't need to feel like it. You don't need to be pumped. You just need to go. Because here's what I know for sure. In 6 months, you're either going to wish that you started today, or you're going to be glad that you did. And the difference between those two outcomes is whether you wait for motivation or you show up anyway. So, here's my question for you. Are you waiting to feel motivated? Or are you just going to train today? Because motivation isn't coming. It never does. You just have to go anyway. And look, if you need help figuring this out, just figuring out where to start, check the link in the description. There's a free pattern test. It takes 2 minutes. It shows you which area needs work first. And I've also got my 30-day reset, which includes a full training plan, pretty much what I'm doing. There's also what you can eat as well. There's no perfect program. Look, there's no perfect program at the end of the day. It doesn't matter whether you get mine or someone else's. The work is the same. You just show up and do the work. Links in the description. Drop a comment. Tell me the last time that you trained even though that you didn't want to. Or tell me what you're waiting for. Because I guarantee it's not motivation that you're missing. It's just the decision to show up anyway. Hope you guys found this valuable, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.